In the heart of Lagos, a bustling city where ambition clashed with survival, there was a man known only by his online alias, Cashman. To most, he was a quiet, unassuming young man named Femi. But to the dark underbelly of the internet, he was one of the most notorious Yahoo boys, a mastermind of online fraud. Femi lived two lives. By day, he blended into the crowd, working at a tech company in Ikea, a cover to disguise his true activities. But by night, he was glued to his multiple laptops, siphoning money from unsuspecting victims overseas. His operation was clean, precise, and most of all, untraceable. Over the years, Femi had accumulated millions of naira in secret accounts, laundering his gains through real estate and luxury cars. But Femi wasn't reckless. He avoided the flashy lifestyle that most Yahoo boys craved. He didn't party in Lekki or splurge on expensive bottles at Victoria Island's nightclubs. No, his trick was to remain invisible. The more anonymous he stayed, the more untouchable he became. His fellow fraudsters idolized him, but no one knew his true identity. One evening, Femi received a message from an anonymous source. The email subject read, "Big opportunity, $10 million deal." Normally, Femi would ignore such blatant traps. Yet, something about this email intrigued him. The sender claimed to be a wealthy American businessman seeking assistance in smuggling funds out of the US for a discreet operation. The catch was the businessman needed someone trustworthy in Nigeria to handle the transfer. For Femi, it seemed like the jackpot. After months of small scams, this was the kind of score that could set him up for life. He mulled it over for days before finally replying. After a brief exchange of cryptic emails and encrypted chats, the deal was set. The businessman transferred a hefty amount into a holding account and promised Femi his 20% cut upon completing the operation. Everything seemed to be going according to plan, until Femi noticed something unusual. The holding account's balance wasn't stable. Funds were disappearing, being withdrawn at random intervals. It was as if someone was siphoning money from the account, just as Femi had done to countless others. Panicked, he tried to transfer the funds to his own account, but the transfer was blocked. His access was restricted. Frustrated, Femi frantically hacked into the system to bypass the security blocks. But the more he tried, the more his control slipped away. It was as if an invisible hand was undoing every move he made. Then it hit him. He wasn't just being outplayed, he was being hunted. The realization came too late. Within hours, his encrypted laptops were compromised, his accounts frozen, and every penny he had accumulated vanished without a trace. The final blow came when his personal information, his real name, his address, everything was leaked online. In a flash, Femi's carefully constructed facade crumbled. Confused and enraged, Femi raced through his contacts, trying to figure out who had double-crossed him. He suspected everyone. His colleagues at work, his fellow fraudsters, even his close friend, Jide, who always seemed too curious about his financial success. But before Femi could take any action, a black SUV pulled up in front of his modest apartment. The EFCC agents swarmed the building. Femi knew it was over. He bolted for the back door, but they were already there, guns drawn. With nowhere to run, Femi surrendered, still wondering how he had been played so easily. As they cuffed him and led him away, Femi's phone buzzed one last time in his pocket. A message from the anonymous businessman flashed on the screen. Rule number 1, Cashman: never trust anyone, especially not another Yahoo boy. It was Jide's voice that echoed in his head as Femi was thrown into the back of the SUV. All this time he thought he was the predator, but he was only prey in a much larger game. A game played by the true kingpins, the ones who never showed their faces, the ones who always stayed a step ahead. And in the end, Femi realized too late that he was never the smartest man in the room.